The rain was falling hard that night. Cold drops hit the large windows of Armand's mansion like tiny drums. The wind howled outside, shaking the tall trees and making shadows dance on the walls. Inside, Armand sat alone in his big living room. The house was silent except for the soft ticking of an old clock. Armand was a billionaire. He had everything a man could want: money, a huge house, fast cars, and respect from many people. But deep inside, Armand felt lonely. His life was full of business meetings and expensive parties, but no one to share his quiet moments with. He often wondered if money could buy happiness. Tonight was just another night of thinking and silence. Suddenly, a sound broke the stillness. A faint cry came from outside the front door. Armand froze. He listened carefully. The crying grew louder, small, helpless, and full of pain. He frowned. No one was supposed to be here, not at this late hour and especially not in this heavy rain. He stood up and walked to the door. His expensive shoes made soft sounds on the marble floor. He opened the big wooden door slowly, not knowing what to expect. The cold air rushed in and rainwater soaked his feet. There, right on his doorstep, lay a tiny baby. The little one was wrapped in a thin, wet blanket. Its small face was red from crying and big tears rolled down its cheeks. The baby's tiny hands moved weakly, trying to find comfort in the cold night. Armand's heart beat faster. He never expected to see a child here, especially not alone and crying in the rain. Next to the baby was a small envelope, tied carefully to the blanket with a red ribbon. Armand picked up the letter with shaking hands. He brought the baby inside, gently wrapping it in a dry towel. The baby stopped crying for a moment and looked at Armand with curious eyes. The man felt a strange warmth inside, a feeling he hadn't felt for a long time. Sitting by the fireplace, Armand dried the baby's wet hair and carefully opened the letter. The paper was old and slightly torn at the edges. His eyes scanned the words, and with each line his expression changed from curiosity to shock. The letter was written by someone who was afraid, someone who needed help. It told a story about the baby's family, secrets and danger. The writer begged Armand to protect the child. The letter said the baby was not safe anywhere else. Armand read the words again, slowly. The letter said that the baby was born into a family with many enemies. It warned that some people were looking for the child and would stop at nothing to find it. The writer said they trusted Armand to keep the baby safe because of his reputation and power. Armand closed his eyes for a moment. He felt a heavy weight on his chest. This was no ordinary night anymore. His quiet life had suddenly changed. A tiny baby and a letter had brought danger and mystery to his door. He looked down at the baby, who was now sleeping peacefully in his arms. The innocence on the child's face made Armand's heart ache. He wanted to protect this little life, no matter the cost, but questions filled his mind. Who left the baby, why at his house, and what secrets did the letter hide? Armand knew he could not ignore this. He had to find out the truth. The rain kept falling outside as Armand sat by the fire, thinking about what to do next. He realized that his life was about to take a turn he never expected. For the first time in a long while, Armand felt a purpose beyond money and business. This baby needed him, and he was ready to stand up for the helpless child. With determination, Armand decided to start his own investigation. He would find out the baby's story and protect the child from any danger. The night was still dark and rainy, but inside the mansion, a new hope was born. A hope that even in the darkest times, kindness could change everything. The next morning, the rain stopped, but the sky stayed gray and heavy. Armand woke up early, holding the baby gently in his arms. The little one, whom he now quietly called Noor, had slept well for the first time in many nights. Armand felt a strange joy, like a spark in his lonely world, but the questions did not stop. Who was Noor? Where did she come from? And what secret did the letter hide? Armand dressed quickly and went to his study, a room filled with books and computers. He carefully placed the letter on his desk and started reading it again. This time, he wanted to understand every word clearly. The letter spoke of danger. It said Noor's family was caught in a fight with powerful people who wanted to harm them. The writer was someone close to Noor, but had to run away and leave the baby behind to keep her safe. Armin's mind raced. He was a businessman, not a hak-che detective. But this was not just about money or business now. It was about protecting a little life. He decided to call his old friend Samir, who was a lawyer and knew many secrets in the city. Maybe Samir could help him understand the letter better and find who had sent the baby. Arman picked up his phone and dialed. After a few rings, Samir answered. "Arman, what's wrong?" "You sound worried," Samir said. Arman took a deep breath. "I found a baby last night outside my house. There was a letter with her. It says she is in danger. I need your help." There was silence on the other side. Then Samir said, "Meet me at my office in 1 hour. Don't tell anyone else." Arman agreed and got ready to leave. He wrapped Noor in a soft blanket and carefully placed her in a small crib he had bought years ago, hoping someday to have a family. Now, that hope was becoming real. The city was quiet that morning, but Arman felt a new kind of tension. Every shadow seemed dangerous, every sound suspicious. He kept looking back at the crib in the car, afraid someone might be watching. When he reached Samir's office, the lawyer was waiting, his face serious. "Show me the letter," Samir said. Arman handed the paper to him. Samir read quickly and frowned. "This is not just a letter, it's a warning," Samir said. "There are names here, powerful people. If they find out you have the baby, they will come after you too." Arman's heart pounded. He never expected his life to become so dangerous. "What should I do?" Arman asked. Samir looked at him firmly. "You need to protect the baby and find out who left her with you. We start with this address," he said, pointing to a small note at the bottom of the letter. Arman nodded. "I will go there, but I need to be careful," Samir agreed. "I will help you from here. Be careful, Arman." Leaving the office, Arman felt the weight of responsibility. He was no longer just a rich man. He was a guardian now. The address was far from the city's wealthy areas. It led to a small, poor neighborhood filled with narrow streets and old houses. Arman felt out of place but pushed his fear aside. As he walked toward the address, he noticed people staring at him. His expensive clothes and clean shoes made him stand out. He hoped no one would suspect he was looking for a secret. When he reached the house, it looked abandoned. The windows were broken and the door was half open. Arman's heart beat faster. He called out softly, "Hello, is anyone here?" No answer. He stepped inside carefully. The air smelled old and dusty. The walls were cracked, and the floor was covered in leaves and trash. Suddenly, Arman heard a faint sound, a soft cry. It was not from the baby, but from somewhere inside the house. He followed the sound and found a small room. Inside, a woman was sitting on the floor, holding her hand over her mouth to stop crying. She looked weak and scared. When she saw Arman, her eyes widened. "Who are you?" she whispered. Arman took a deep breath. "I'm here to help. I found the baby. I want to know the truth." The woman's eyes filled with tears. "You must be careful. They are watching us, the people who want to hurt the baby." Arman nodded. "Tell me everything. I will protect you both." She looked at him and slowly began to speak. Her voice was low but full of pain and hope. As Arman listened, he realized this was just the beginning of a story full of secrets, danger, and courage. The baby's life, and many others, were in his hands now. Outside, the sky grew darker. The rain might come back, but Arman knew he had to be strong. For Noor. For the truth. The woman looked at Arman with tired eyes. Her hands shook as she held a small, folded piece of paper. Slowly, she opened it and handed it to him. "This is the last letter from my brother," she said softly. "He was trying to warn us." Arman took the paper carefully. The handwriting was messy but clear. It told a story of betrayal and fear. The brother had worked for a powerful group that wanted to control the city's wealth. When he refused to join them, they threatened his family. He wanted to protect his sister and the baby, the woman said. So he sent the baby away. "Do you?" Arman's heart tightened. The baby in his arms was caught in a fight he never knew existed. He looked at Noor, sleeping peacefully, unaware of the danger. "Why did you stay here?" Arman asked. "I had no choice," she whispered. "They watch every move we make. If I run, they will find me. But I want to keep the baby safe." Arman nodded, feeling a new sense of purpose. "We need a plan. I can protect you and Noor. But first we must find out who is behind this." The woman's face grew pale. "There is one man, a very powerful man. He controls many things, and he wants the baby gone." Arman clenched his fists. He was no stranger to power and money, but this was different. This was about life and death. "We will not let him win," Arman said firmly. "You and Noor will stay with me. No one will hurt you again." She looked at him with hope for the first time. "Thank you." Back at his mansion, Arman made sure Noor and the woman, whose name was Mariam, were safe. He called his trusted security team and told them to keep the house under watch. But Arman knew that walls and guards were not enough. He needed answers. The next day, he met with his old contacts, people who worked in the city's shadows. They knew about the powerful man Mariam mentioned. His first contact, a quiet man named Javed, told him the truth. "The man you are looking for is Zahir Khan," Javed said in a low voice. "He controls illegal businesses and many politicians. No one crosses him and lives." Arman's mind raced. Zahir Khan was known for violence and fear. Going against him was dangerous. "But we have to try," Arman said. Javed nodded. "Zahir has spies everywhere. We need proof to stop him." Arman thought about the letter in Mariam's story. This was not just about one baby. It was about fighting a hidden war. That night, as Noor slept in her crib, Arman sat by the window looking at the city lights. He felt the weight of his new responsibility. Suddenly, his phone rang. It was an unknown number. Arman answered carefully. "Stop what you're doing, Arman," a cold voice said, "or you will regret it." The call ended. Arman's heart pounded. The danger was closer than ever. He knew he could not turn back now. For Noor, for Mariam, and for the truth, he had to fight. The next morning, Arman woke with a heavy heart. The phone call from last night haunted him. Someone was watching his every move. But he was not afraid. Not yet. He sat at his big wooden desk, thinking about Mariam and little Noor. They were safe for now, but danger was closer than he wanted to admit. Arman decided to visit Mariam and Noor. When he reached the room where Noor slept peacefully, Mariam looked up with tired eyes but smiled faintly. "Are you all right?" Arman asked gently. Mariam nodded, but her hands trembled. "I am scared," she whispered. "They will come for us." Arman felt a deep sadness. This innocent baby and her mother were trapped in a war they never chose. Suddenly, a loud knock came at the mansion's front door. Arman's security team rushed to check. Outside, no one was there. "This is only the beginning," Arman said quietly. He knew the powerful man, Zahir Khan, was sending a message. Arman could feel the dark clouds gathering. Determined, Arman called his friend, Inspector Asif, a police officer known for his honesty. He explained the danger and asked for help. Asif agreed to look into the threats. "Be careful, Arman," he warned. "Zahir Khan is dangerous." Days passed, and the tension grew. Strange cars followed Arman's every move. Anonymous letters arrived at his office with warnings. Stay away or lose everything. One night, Arman found a note slipped under his door. It said simply, "The baby is not safe with you." Arman's anger grew. Who could do this to a helpless child? He decided to fight back, but carefully. Arman and Mariam started planning how to protect Noor. They talked about moving to a safe place away from the city, but Mariam was worried about her past. "I have enemies, people who want to hurt my family." Arman promised, "No one will hurt you, I will keep you safe." One evening, as Arman returned home late from a meeting, he noticed a shadow near the gate. A man quickly disappeared before Arman could see his face. The next day, Mariam confessed she recognized the man. "He is one of Zahir's men," she said. Fear grew inside Arman. The enemy was very close. He met again with Inspector Asif. "We need to act fast," Asif said. "If Zahir Khan wants to hurt the baby, we must stop him." Arman agreed, but knew it would not be easy. Zahir Khan was a powerful man with many resources. The tension reached its peak when Mariam received a phone call. A voice threatened her to leave Arman and the baby alone, or else. Mariam was scared but stood strong. Arman held her hand. "We will fight this together." That night, Arman stayed awake, thinking about how to protect the baby who was now a symbol of hope. The quiet cries of Noor in the next room made him stronger. He was ready to face whatever came next. Days passed, but the danger did not go away. Arman knew Zahir Khan's threats were real. The fight to protect little Noor and Mariam was far from over. One morning, Arman received a call from a stranger. The voice was calm, but serious. "I have information about the letter you found." The man said, "Meet me if you want to know the truth." Arman was curious but careful. He agreed to meet at a quiet cafe outside the city. When Arman arrived, a middle-aged woman was waiting. Her eyes were tired but honest. "My name is Sarah," she said. "I worked with your father a long time ago. Your father knew about Zahir Khan's crimes." Arman listened closely as Sarah told a shocking story. Years ago, Arman's father had tried to stop Zahir Khan but was betrayed by someone close. "He left behind proof, documents hidden in your father's old house," Sarah said. "These papers can expose Zahir's illegal activities." Arman's heart raced. This was the secret behind the baby's story. Someone wanted to stop this proof from coming out, even if it meant hurting innocent people. Sarah handed Arman an old key. "This will open a secret drawer in your father's study. Find the documents and bring justice." Arman thanked Sarah and hurried home. Mariam watched his face closely. "What did she say?" Mariam asked. "Something important," Arman replied. "My father's past is connected to all of this. We are not just protecting Noor from Zahir Khan, we are fighting for truth." That night, Arman went to his father's old house, now empty and covered in dust. He remembered his childhood but did not feel afraid. He found the study and looked for the secret drawer. After searching, he found a small wooden box hidden behind books. Using the key Sarah gave him, Arman opened the box. Inside were papers, documents with names, dates, and proof of crimes committed by Zahir Khan. Arman felt a mix of anger and hope. Now he had the power to stop Zahir, but he also knew that Zahir would fight back harder. The next day, Arman showed the documents to Inspector Asif. "This is the proof we need," Asif said. "But we must be careful. Zahir will try to destroy this." Together they made a plan to bring Zahir Khan to justice. Meanwhile, Mariam and Noor stayed safe inside the mansion. Noor's soft laughter brought light to the dark days. Arman looked at Mariam and smiled. "We will win this fight," he promised. But deep down he knew the battle was only beginning. Arman felt stronger with the proof in his hands. He believed justice was close, but Zahir Khan was not a man who gave up easily. He was ready to fight back with everything he had. One afternoon, Arman received a message on his phone. It was a simple text: "Meet me at the old factory if you want to see your daughter." His heart stopped. Mariam and Noor were safe inside the mansion, but this message was a cruel trick. Zahir wanted to scare him. Arman knew it was a trap, but he could not ignore it. He called Inspector Asif immediately. "They want to lure me out," Arman said. "We must be ready," Asif agreed. "We will send backup. You will not be alone." That evening, Arman went to the old factory. The place was dark and cold, with broken windows and rust everywhere. He walked slowly, his eyes watching every shadow. Suddenly a voice came from behind a wall. "You came. Good." Zahir Khan stepped out, a cold smile on his face. "You think these papers can stop me?" Zahir said. "You have no idea what you're up against." Arman stood tall. "Your crimes will be exposed. You will pay for what you did." Zahir laughed. "Let's see." Then from the shadows, armed men appeared. Armand's backup team rushed in and a fight started. In the chaos, Armand saw a figure running away. Mariam. Someone had tricked them. Mariam was gone. Armand's heart burned with fear. He called Mariam's phone, but it was off. Inspector Asif said, "They took her. This was their plan to get to you." Armand clenched his fists. He would not let Mariam and Noor suffer. He promised himself, "I will find you, no matter what." Back at the mansion, Mariam was tied and scared. Zahir's men surrounded her, but her eyes held hope. She whispered to Noor, "Stay strong, baby. Help is coming." Armand and Asif started searching everywhere. Every lead, every clue. They would not stop until Mariam was safe. The danger was real, but so was Armand's courage. The night was long, but Armand's fight had just begun. The night was quiet, but Armand's mind was full of worry. Mariam and Noor were missing. Every second felt like a lifetime. He knew he had to act fast. With Inspector Asif by his side, Armand followed the clues from the old factory. The kidnappers left a trail, small but enough to find where Mariam was held. They reached an abandoned warehouse far outside the city. The place was dark and full of danger. Armand's heart pounded, but he stayed strong for Mariam and Noor. Inside the warehouse, Mariam sat on the cold floor, holding little Noor close. She heard footsteps and hoped it was help. Suddenly, the door burst open. Armand and Inspector Asif rushed in. "Mariam!" Armand shouted, running toward her. Tears fell from Mariam's eyes. "Armand, you came!" But danger was not over. Zahir Khan and his men appeared, blocking the way. "This ends now, Zahir," Armand said firmly. "You cannot hurt them anymore," Zahir sneered. "You think you've won? Not yet." A fierce fight began. Armand and the police worked together to stop Zahir and his men. The struggle was hard, but Armand's courage never faded. Finally, the police captured Zahir Khan. He was handcuffed and taken away. Mariam hugged Armand tightly. "Thank you for saving us." Armand looked at Noor, who smiled weakly but happily. "We are safe now," he whispered. Days later, the news spread about Zahir Khan's arrest and the brave rescue. People admired Armand's courage and love. Armand decided to change his life. He wanted to protect Mariam and Noor forever. He started a foundation to help children like Noor, who had no family or safety. Mariam and Armand grew closer. Together they built a new family, full of hope and love. Noor's laughter filled their home, chasing away the shadows of the past. The pain and fear were behind them now. A bright future awaited, and Armand knew no matter what, he would always fight for those he loved.